Hi Virgo, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. Welcome to your January 2021 reading. Just a quick note that I'm going to be keeping these readings kind of short this month. My entire household kind of came down with the virus, and on top of that I have a son with a broken foot, so it's been a hectic Christmas. It's been a hectic few days, and as well I get a little bit winded and I start to cough after a little while, and I don't really want to do that all over your readings, so I'm going to do my best to get you the best information that I can with a little bit fewer cards, and hopefully I could work on not repeating myself 100 times like I typically do through the readings. So really quick, guys, the energy that takes a turn in January, and you probably immediately feel a little bit enlightened, is that Saturn-Jupiter moving from your 5th house into your 6th. Now, Saturn and Jupiter there in your 5th house was kind of like this overwhelming downer. It was like love and the things that you enjoy. It was just so hard to achieve the time to do them, to achieve the cooperation. You could have been in dating situations that were kind of back and forth. You know, an element of not quite being able to grasp or enjoy life in some way. What happens is that Jupiter and Saturn move into your 6th house, making the emphasis more on your day-to-day routines. This is actually a beautiful spot for you, Virgo. You operate well in the 6th house, so I don't think that this will be a difficult transit at all for you. I think mostly it will be about following your intuition on the things that you want to integrate in your life. I think it's a time for you to get super organized. And kind of more on a level of like bringing the vision board to everyday life. Now the thing is, we have Uranus making a square to the 6th house. Uranus is your 9th house. So if any of you Virgos have felt called to kind of go back to school or to travel, those possibilities are on the table again. The things that you really love and enjoy are going to be more fruitful, more abundant, more available to you. However, the 6th house is a place of mastery, so there's things that we have to get under control. And this is about your ability to delegate. There's going to be areas in life in which you are called to help and to be of service to some people. There does seem to be somewhat of a calling occurring for everybody at this time. And I think in order to go down that road to really nurture the new stuff that's coming in, you have to find a way to integrate your day-to-day rituals, your day-to-day stuff. Your health becomes a priority. Your diet becomes a priority. It could be as simple as integrating really great new ways to make your life a little bit easier. You know, if you're a working mom, it could be about learning how to get the best out of like meal prepping and making your day-to-day activities more manageable. This could be about hiring people to help you in your day-to-day management of life, in order for you to enjoy and do the more creative endeavors that will be available to you now. Also, things might start to open up in terms of love. Where there were blockages, now they are removed. But with that, you tend to look at things from a different perspective. Now, your card for the month, you are coming across as the Empress. Super creative, super abundant. This is the energy of somebody who's kind of gotten over the desire of things. The Empress is not somebody who like does a lot of work. It's not somebody who wastes their energy or gives or invests into situations that, you know, don't have a return of investment value. The Empress is very intelligent. She is extremely intuitive, extremely magnetic, And it is an element of manifestation that you are kind of taking these bigger dreams, this ninth house stuff, and you're moving forward with those visions. In kind of regardless of what you have to leave behind or the damage in the wake. You know, the Empress also doesn't wait on people. She doesn't need other people. Like, this is a very significant self-sufficient person. If you are looking to start your own business, if you are looking to have children, there's indicative that these things can happen. These things can be manifested. So it's important to prepare and to make space for those big things to come in. Look, there's no doubt that when you're in the Empress energy, you are creating. You're creating a new life. You're creating a new vision. You're starting a new relationship, or you're getting more in tune with the value of relationships already in your life. And because she comes out next to the archetype card, which is that of the creator, I think it's pretty easy to assume that your creativity, your visions, and what you have to offer this world is going to be really important. And I think, Virgo, the thing about it is most people, maybe everybody but you, is aware of this, of these qualities. You know, it's often funny because Virgos are oftentimes accused of investing in the potential of people, right? Falling in love with the potential. You see the spark, you see how something can be fixed or healed to make a better version of something. That's what, you know, Virgo's gift is to us on earth. They just make everything better. They make everything make sense. They make everything look beautiful. They simplify things. There's discernment and intelligence and what is useful and what isn't useful. And I think there's an element here where Virgo, if it doesn't speak to you creatively, if it doesn't speak to you in a loving way, if it's not about children, home, family, if it's not about adventure and travel and freedom, then it's probably not for Virgo at this time. Now, your cards representing the past situation is that of an Ace of Swords in reverse and the Two of Swords in reverse. And this is, I pick up a lot of mirroring on this as well. You know, Ace of Swords in reverse is kind of holding back. You're holding back your feelings, holding back your emotions, not being super honest. And this could be not being honest with yourself. This could be you not being honest in your relationships. But the Two of Swords in reverse is indicative of somebody that just kind of waits for other people to make the decisions for them. Maybe there's Virgos out there that were afraid to take the first move or have the initiative to change things in their lives or to speak up in regards to their relationships. Maybe there's been situations that have hurt you, that have been disappointing, and maybe there's a lot brewing underneath the surface. Maybe there are things that you haven't wanted to say because you don't want to hurt anyone. Maybe there are things you haven't said because you're afraid of what can be said back. Maybe in a lot of ways, some of those disappointments were reflective of who we are in our own lives. Maybe we've been disappointed in partners for the very things that we do ourselves. And I think that in the end of December, the beginning of January, this full moon in Cancer in your 11th house is kind of a harsh reality. Opposing Pluto. It's a realistic view of how things are, what they are, and how you contribute to them. The reason why I say that there's a mirroring energy here of two people probably, or two situations, or you and the other situation, where you almost want to avoid confrontation. Now I get that because next to it is the Death card in reverse. This is Virgo kind of not wanting to shake the apple tree or you know, disturb the nest in some way. Maybe this is Virgo afraid to say the things that they want to say because the emotions behind it are so strong. When I see the Death card in reverse and the Moon card, it's very indicative that things are coming to the surface now. Like it or not, the Ace of Swords is eventually going to be put upright, meaning the conversations will ultimately be had. The truth, the clarity that you're seeking will be there. Right now, you may be forced to operate in a little bit of the darkness. Maybe there's somebody in your life, Virgo. Like I said, this is indicative of kind of waiting for somebody else to make some very big choices. And the Empress is also indicative of waiting. You've put in the work, you've done the sacrifice, and now you're just waiting for things to come to fruition. Now, if that is a relationship or job offer that you're waiting on, it may indicate that your other person is kind of going through some stuff. Death card in reverse with the Moon. Resisting change. Resisting the unknown. If you're dealing with somebody who seems to be in a bit of a frozen area of their life, seems to be unwilling to make the changes or to invest or go deeper in the relationship in some way. See, the thing is, with the Empress card, you also pulled, you are good enough, full moon in Virgo. Well, this means that Virgo's choosing themselves, right? I think if there have been people or situations that haven't been so honest, that haven't been so giving, you know, the Moon card can kind of be where people have taken advantage of you, taken advantage of your compassion, your time, your investments. Those wrongs are kind of going to get right in some ways. Now, I don't actually see endings occurring, especially because the Death card is in reverse. Maybe there's a situation that you think is over. Maybe there's a relationship that you've had to put an end to. Maybe there's a work contract that came to an end. I'm not so sure it's as over as you think it is. That situation may actually have been a little bit of a blow to your ego in some ways. I see that because we have the Five of Swords next to the Moon card. Maybe you were in a situation where you were kind of comparing yourself, kind of comparing where you are in your life compared to where other people are in their lives. This could be anything from being on social media and comparing yourself to other people to, you know, maybe even the deeper essence of things. Maybe even in relationships where you felt like you weren't truly valued, where you felt like you were a little bit replaceable, where you felt like somebody's interest was kind of waning, okay? A lot of those situations may have been self-created, the Empress and the Creator. And maybe now as we move into all this new energy and there's freedom and there's abundance in that fifth house, if you do the work, sixth house, if you make the rituals, and sixth house is a very mental house and it's about mastery, and it's about mastering your ability to manifest and bring things to fruition. If you're a Virgo who has been stuck or really deeply rooted in some negative thought processes, it has to come to an end now. And with the Uranus in your ninth house, you are really truly breaking free of that stuff. Now, you're probably thinking, oh my God, I've gone through so much in 2020. What more can I have to do? You know, but ninth house Uranus, there's sudden liberation from things. So most likely it's nothing that you have to do. It's not about the work anymore. I think I've been saying this for a little while about Virgo. It's not about the work, it's about the rituals. It's about the flow. It's about your ability to delegate. It's about your ability to be in service to others. I'm really surprised actually that the Six of Pentacles didn't come up here, because I'm picking up a Six of Pentacles vibe. The more you're kind of able to give in any capacity, whether you're being really asked to be really compassionate in certain relationships, or if this is your job, you know, especially if you're in a nursing career or healthcare position at this time, like there's definitely elements of you that has been asked to give. And the Empress is kind of what you get in return. If you have invested loyally, if you've invested in relationships, the things you thought you weren't going to receive from them may surprise you. If you have been wavering in your faith in a lot of ways. Again, Uranus, 9th house. Suddenly I don't believe in this anymore. Suddenly I don't think like this anymore. And therefore I have all of this liberation. Maybe you've had to let go of some things that really put you in a position of having control in your life. Maybe you lost a prominent job and you've kind of had to give in to more of a creative endeavor. Maybe you're attempting to leave a job for a creative endeavor. I see a lot of people stepping into this energy of making their passions more on how they make money instead of relying on that 9 to 5. Now, you are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. This coming out underneath or right above this moon card means that there's a lot of deep insecurities within you that are being healed, whether you really understand this or not. Now you have Chiron moving direct in your 8th house of other people's values, meaning that you've probably been hurt. You've probably felt unloved or rejected over the past couple of years. There's been an element, like I said, where the ego's been a little bit bruised. You've been through it. Had to deal with some people that weren't really trustworthy and honest. And I get with this card that you've kind of really had to fight for yourself, fight for your positions. Maybe you felt like you were in relationships where you had to fight for your position or your security as well, which is really not how relationships are supposed to work. But it's all gotten you to this point of understanding your self-worth. Understanding that you are lovable, that you are worthy of the good things, that you have a lot to give in return. And it's about being comfortable being in the spotlight, right? The Empress. I had a similar energy for Capricorn as well, of like having the courage to kind of stand in your light. You know, Virgo especially has a way of dimming themselves, dimming their qualities in order to meet vibrationally with people that maybe are on a lower vibration than they are. Now, Virgo, we know that we have to stop doing that, right? We know that we can't really sell ourselves short in order to make situations work. What happens is we have the courage to end those situations and attract the ones that do work. I say that because the overall energy is the 7 of Swords and the Fool card and the 2 of Cups. This is getting over the fears so you can take the leap of faith into something that is way more in alignment with you. This is cutting out that ex that kind of makes you feel bad about yourself. This is cutting out that job or those coworkers or those friends that don't really value you. You know, 7 of Swords is definitely indicative of feeling taken advantage of, feeling like people have literally stolen from you, bad investments, but oftentimes this is 12th house stuff as well. Now we will be having a full moon in your 12th house, at the end of January, which could be kind of shocking, but it could also really make some space subconsciously. And what you have to understand is, like it or not, you're being asked to dive really deep into the things that are meant for you, to the things that you are attracted to, and allow them to grow and flourish without the fear. This is also about recognizing the path of least resistance. Things are going to come to you much easier now than they have in the past few years. In a lot of ways, that could be kind of shocking to us. You mean after all of this work, after all of this Mars retrograde, after all of this time, things are just going to start to happen? We might be a little bit weary of that. We might be a little untrusting. We may not be willing to take the risks because we've been so jaded from the past. And yet, the Empress card says, you are good enough, Virgo, and this is kind of your time. This is your time to kind of step into yourself. Now you get to receive the things that you've been working for but have felt blocked for so long. Again, if any of you Virgos out there are trying to conceive children, you might get a breakthrough in the first month or two of 2021 that makes it possible. Some of you might actually be having children. I've seen a lot of that for Virgos in these readings. And the final oracle card is Regeneration, and I like that because it comes with the King of Cups. I'm going to read the Regeneration card for you. Card number 46. Rebirth, second chances, and new opportunities. Second chances are available to you now. Whatever opportunities you thought were dead are now revived in a more authentic, stronger form. Whatever you may have perceived as a failure or loss is now being replaced by something better and more powerful, growing in its place. This rebirth is assured. Step into your new life. Destiny is being fulfilled in wondrous ways. I really like that energy. I really like it because it feels so much easier, less stressful, less anxiety-ridden than things have felt in the past for you. And that is the King of Cups. See, ultimately what you're leading into is that equal give and take. My King of Cups is always reciprocated love. It's the love that you have, the love that you give being matched by somebody, person, a job, a situation. It's matched with you, to you, and it's emotionally fulfilling, and it is abundant, and it also allows you to provide this emotional abundance to others, meaning the level of happiness and security that you get from this, you're able to pass on to others in a lot of different ways, energetically, maybe even financially. Maybe this puts you in a better position to kind of take care of people in your life. And I also wanted to read the Creator card for you guys really quick. This archetype cards. A friend sent me these, so I'm very new to these cards, and to be honest, there's a lot to learn. So I'm kind of just pulling one for you. I think it's a great add-on, especially for this Aquarius energy. The Creator, the Artist, the Alchemist, and the Innovator. See, there's a lot about something that was gone or going through a death process that comes back stronger. And I think in the process of the separation, if there's a separation or a breakup, I think there was an opportunity to lay a stronger foundation here. The Creator, the first archetype in the trio of his existence, is not intimidated by darkness or by lack. They know that from the void, creation inevitably emerges. With meager, minimal, and outlandish materials, the Creator reveals a new image. They make the empty room resonant with healing sounds. They generate bounty from the seed that others tossed away. Though generative, this archetype annihilates preconceived notions of what is possible, leaving unexpected openings in the wake of its destruction. The creator does this by first being absolutely present to what is, not imagining or wishing things were different, and second, trusting that a force greater than themselves awaits constant collaboration with each human soul. Whether we call it nature, God, goddess, or divinity, it remains nameless. It is the creator's lifelong companion. The inspiration. All right, Virgo, I'm going to leave it at that because I feel a coughing jag coming on. I do sincerely hope you have a wonderful January. I'll be back mid-month, and I will see you in February. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.